So finally here, I want to talk a little bit about the mission of Ucommerce and what we believe is the future for e-commerce. Because although e-commerce has done a lot of great things, it has created the possibility to send goods and merchandise all across the world. It has connected customers and vendors in a way that we've never seen before. And if we revolutionize the market economy and the world economy in many ways, there is one thing that e-commerce does extremely bad compared to traditional commerce. And this is the fact that we've actually taken the merchant, the digital merchant, and taken him out of his store. We have disconnected the digital merchant from his or her store. And we do believe that that's a major disadvantage that we need somehow to remedy through our software. So we've made it the purpose of Ucommerce to reconnect the digital merchants with their stores. So let me try and explain what I mean here. So if you look at this picture, we do believe that this should really be the future for people working with commerce, because there's at least three things that old Pops here behind the counter was much better at than today's digital merchants. So first of all, we don't believe that merchant has sufficient control over their stores. This is the whole content and commerce idea. Now, look at any traditional e-commerce site today. They will have one template for their product pages where you have a picture on the left-hand side, a price on the right-hand side, some variant pickers, some descriptions, ratings, and views, and that's it. That goes, even though you have different products, you have different variants and all that, this is the same product presentation. Now, look at old Pops here. So if you look at the store, each product is placed somewhere where it makes sense in relation to the purchasing process. There are products near the counter because that makes sense for them. And there's products behind the shelves which makes sense in that case. So the whole product presentation layer is something that we need to work with, and we do believe that the content and commerce element is crucial for that, because with a great content management system, you can start to create these individual product pages that are needed if you want to create the right brand experience and give your customers the experience that they're looking for. Now, secondly, we don't believe that digital merchants today have sufficient knowledge about their customers. Yes, I know that personalization has been the crave of commerce these many last years, but let's face it, at the end of the day, we're gathering data, but we know their name, we know their postal code, their address, but do we know them? We don't know them in the same way that Pops knew them. Pops behind the counter, he knew the customers because they came into his store every day and he spoke with them. He knew about their lives, he knew about their birthdays, their likes, their dislikes. He knew them as people. We don't know that as digital merchants. We know them as data. And we need to remedy this somehow. So every time we're talking personalization, we should strive to be somewhere closer to the personalization levels that Pop actually recognized. So we need to step out of that boundary. We need to surpass the dashboard and get in closer contact with our customers if we want to understand how to run our business. And then thirdly, we don't know, or don't think that digital merchants today has sufficient knowledge about what is actually going on in their store. So Pops behind the counter, he could look over his store. He was there every day. So he knew intimately what was going on in his store. He knew what products was running out of date. He knew when something was missing. He could see everything. He could monitor everything from his place behind the counter. Now, we want to give today's digital merchant that same knowledge, that stuff is going on in their stores. That's why we've introduced a live feed where you can actually see that people are interacting with your products. There's people in your store all the time. And if you want to understand how to sell to them, you gotta get into their mindsets. You gotta understand what it is they're looking for. So we want to bridge that gap between the digital merchant and their stores and ultimately their customers. That is what the mission of Ucommerce is, and we really want to work hard to achieve that, to remedy that disconnect.